Good morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
So,
Happy Holi, sir.
happy Holi, all of you. Related happy Holi.
Yes,
So, how was the festival?
sir.
Sir, colorless Holi, sir.
Sorry.
Sir, colorless Holi.
So today we'll discuss about the. So far we have discussed about the reflecting surfaces, the image formation using the concave and convex reflecting surfaces, and the mirrors, concave mirrors, and the concave mirrors. And now we are going to discuss in the class about the lenses. Okay, how the lenses will be formed and how the lenses will behave to form the images of the different objects at the different locations. So we basically discuss about the thin lens. Okay. So suppose we have the two reflecting surfaces, and when we combine the two reflecting surfaces, then that will make a lens that is known as the thin lens. That is found the thin lens. Okay. So a medium bounded by two spherical reflecting surfaces is referred to as the spherical lenses. Okay. And if the thickness of the lens is very small compared to the object and image distance, the thickness of the lens is very small compared to image and object distance, then we can call that lens as a thin lens. Okay, this is the definition about the thin lens. But suppose if the thickness of the lens is very large in compared to the image and object distances, then that lenses are called as the thick lens. So here we are discuss about the thin lens where the thickness is very small. So in this case, a lens may have the non-spherical reflecting surfaces. Okay, like earlier we discussed about the spherical reflecting surfaces, that is the convex and concave. But it may be that lens may be have the non-spherical reflecting surfaces. Non-spherical reflecting surfaces. Okay. So lens which having non-spherical reflecting surfaces is known as the cylindrical lenses. It is having the shape of the cylindrical in compared to the spherical. So basically, we have two kind of lenses. One is the cylindrical lenses, and another one is the spherical lenses. We have already known the curvature. So we can see the different combination of the lenses. We have the different combination of the lenses and the combination of the reflecting surfaces. So we can form a different kind of lenses. Okay. So that lenses can be see the cross-sectional view. We can see the cross-sectional view of the lenses. We can form, for example, the one lens. Okay. Another lens we can form like this. Okay. Then another lens we can form like this. So can you tell what is the name of this lens, and this lens? What is the difference between these three lenses? Anybody? Any idea? So what is the radius of curvature of this? Suppose these lenses, these three lenses having the two reflecting surfaces. One is the this surface, one is the this surface. One is the this surface, and one is the this surface. One is this surface, and one is the this surface. Okay. So when two reflecting surfaces we combine, then we form the thin lenses, and here we have the three different category of the lenses. So this lens is known as the, what is the name of this lens? This lens is known as the biconvex lens. Biconvex, or also known as the equiconvex. Okay. And what is the name of this lens? This lens is Leno-convex lens. Okay. And this lens is known as the positive meniscus lens. Right? So suppose this surface is the first surface, this surface is the second surface. Okay. So can you tell me what is the radius of curvature of this R1 and what is the radius of curvature of R2, R1, R2, R1, R2. Okay. So what is the radius of curvature of this lens, biconvex lens, R1 and R2, where R1 is positive and R2 is positive. Which one is positive, which one is negative here? Can you tell by the seeing the diagram? Anybody? Revant?
Sir, R2 is positive in first case and R1 is negative.
R2 is positive and R1 is?
Negative.
R1 is negative, R2 is positive. Right? Anybody? Is it okay? Narendra?
Yes, sir.
Is it correct, or are you okay with this answer?
Yes, sir.
So anybody else want to comment on this answer? So what is the convex spherical surface? So radius of curvature of that surface is positive or negative? Which we have studied earlier. By using the sign conventions, we see that R1 is positive and R2 is negative. So it is just opposite to this. R1 is positive and R2 is negative. Because R1 is this surface, so radius of curvature, center curvature will lie at this point here, and R2 is this surface, so it will be lie here. So this point will be negative and this point will be positive by using the sign convention. Similarly, can you tell what is the radius of curvature in this case, R1 and R2? So in this case, R1 is similar to this, right? So R1 will be positive. What about the R2?
R2
R2 is
infinity, sir.
Infinity. Why it is infinity?
Infinite. Sir, plane surface.
So here R2 is having the radius of curvature infinity because this is the plane mirror. So plane mirror will focus the image at the infinity. That's why, and also of course it's a plane, so radius of curvature will also lie at the infinity. Similarly, can you tell about this positive meniscus? What about the R1 and R2?
So both are positive.
Yeah. So in the past, in this case, R1 and R2 are both are the positive. Okay. And also, okay, I will tell the difference later. So this is the about the radius of curvature of the different surfaces which forming the lenses. So this is the biconvex lens, convex lens, and positive meniscus. Similarly, one can make the another types of lenses which is made of the concave lens, concave spherical surface. So the first concave spherical surface you can make like this. This is the one kind of lens. Okay. Then the one kind of lens. Okay. And then this is the another kind of lens. Okay. So this lens name is biconcave lens. Okay. This is also known as the equiconcave. And this one is the, what is the name of this one? Plano-concave lens. Okay. And this one is known as the negative meniscus. Okay. Similarly, we can write the about the radius of curvature. So can anybody tell what is the radius of curvature of this R1 and R2? The R1, this is the R2. So you can tell that it is just opposite to the biconvex lens. Okay. So R1 will be negative and R2 will be positive lens. Similarly, here the plano-concave lens, so R1 will be infinity and R2 will be again it will be positive lens. And in this one, R1 and R2 is also the positive lens, positive radius of curvature. So can you tell what is the basic difference you can see from here? The difference between positive meniscus and the negative meniscus lens. What the difference you can see? Anybody? Krishna,
Yes, sir.
can you tell the basic difference between positive meniscus and negative meniscus lens?
Sir. 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 I think sir negative meniscus diagram is the opposite of positive meniscus. Yes, sir. Both are looking similar.
Both are looking similar. So anybody can tell the basic difference between this lens and this lens? So basically you see that the basic difference I can see, because this is known as the positive meniscus and this is known as the negative meniscus. So by the name also you can see that this is the positive, because here what is the positive lens? Positive lens having the at the middle it is having the very wide, thick, and at the edge it is thinner. Here it is thick, here it is thin. So it's called the positive lens or biconvex lens, a convex lens basically. And also here you see that in this one, this is a concave. So here it is at the center, it is thin, and at the edge it is thick. And this lens is known as the negative lens. Similarly, this is the positive meniscus. So the positive meniscus having the thick, large thickness at the center, thick, and very thin at the edge. Here and here it is thin, here it is thick, so it's called the positive. And since it is having the convex and concave spherical surfaces, so it's called the meniscus. So it is known as the positive meniscus, while this is known as the negative meniscus because at the center it is having the very thin thickness, and at the edges it is thick compared to the center. So that's why it's called the negative meniscus. Okay. So basically these lenses, positive meniscus and negative meniscus are used to get the smaller focal number and to get the better resolution images. And also the negative meniscus lenses are used in the application using the infrared materials with high refractive index, and also used in the beam expanding application that requires the minimum spherical aberrations. So these are the application of this special kind of positive meniscus and the negative meniscus lenses. So these are the types of the lenses, different kind of lenses. Now let's see the image formation using these kind of lenses. So before going to see the image formation, just we'll define very briefly the focal points and focal lengths in these lenses. So suppose we have here this convex lens, biconvex lens, and suppose this is the principal axis, and the light is going from this point. Okay, and after this, it becomes parallel. Then this is known as the primary focal point. Okay, primary focal point. Similarly, one can see the defined for the primary focal points of primary focal length in the case of the concave lens. So suppose I have here the concave lens here, and we want to define the primary focal points. So what we have to do? How we have to define this one? So the rays here, the ray is diverging, so becomes parallel. So that rays are diverging from the focal point. Similarly, here the converging rays, which is supposed to meet at the focal point here. After the reflection, they becomes parallel. So this point is known as the primary focal point. Okay. So these are the two cases for the convex lens and the concave lens. This is known as the positive lens, and this is known as the negative lens. Because this having the positive focal length called the positive lens, and this is having the negative focal length. That's why it's called the negative lens. Similarly, one can define for the two cases the secondary focal points. So the secondary focal points is known as the points, the access points having the property that any incident ray traveling parallel to the axis will, after the reflection, proceed towards or appear to come from secondary focal points. For example, in this case, let's make it the light. Suppose this is the principal axis and light is going parallel to this. So after the deflection, this parallel light going to meet a focus to a point, and that point is known as the F prime or secondary focal point. Okay. Similarly, one can define the secondary focal point for this lens, concave lens, and in this case, if this is the concave lens and this is the principal axis. So again, here the parallel light going to be focused. So here also we have to draw a parallel line. So what will happen in this case? The parallel line will become diverging. Here it was converging, so here it becomes diverging, and it will diverge in such a way that it seems that it is coming from a focal point. Okay, if you see here, if you see from here, and these points is known as the F line, that is the secondary focal point. Okay, so basically the distance we measure in this case, the focal points and focal length is measured from this surface, this detecting surface. The distance are measured, the focal length, primary and secondary focal length. So any question here so far? No question. So now let's see if we have the oblique ray incidence in this case. This is the convex lens, okay, and this is the center of the two lenses, right? So suppose we have the parallel ray incidence at angle theta. Then can you tell where they will meet in this case? Anybody? Krishna?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell where they will meet?
Sir, I see first the parallel to focus point. Sir,
Anybody?
sir,
Anybody can tell where the image will be formed in this case, where the light will meet pulse light, parallel light with the incidence at the oblique incidence theta in the case of the convex lens.
सर फोकल प्लेन पे बनेगी.
Focal plane पे बनेगी, right? So first we have to define the focal plane. So suppose this is the focal point. So the plane passing through the focal point is known as the focal plane. Okay. So we know that we have done this method oblique ray incident in the case of the mirrors and also in the case of the reflecting surfaces. So here we have to draw a line which is parallel to this plane and also passing through this center of this lens. Let's draw this light. The parallel light is going. So we know that this light will be deviated after the reflection, where it will cut to the parallel focal plane. There all the rays will be meet. So all the rays after the reflection will meet at this point. Okay. So this ray, this dash ray is known as the chief ray, which is the undeviated ray, and the distance, this is the secondary focal point, so this is the F prime, and they will meet at this point Q prime. Okay, so the chief ray in this case is defined as the ray which passes through the center of the lens. Okay. So basically the distance between the center of lens and either of its focal point is the focal length. Because we are discussing about the thin lens. So the distance between the center of the lens and here to this focal point is known as focal length. Okay. So also we know that usually we see that the focal length in the case of the lenses are primary focal length and the secondary focal lengths are equal. Means F is equal to F prime in the case of the lens. While in the case of the spherical surfaces, we see that F and F prime are depends upon the refractive indices. Why they are equal in this case? Because on the left side and on the right side, both having the air, both having the same refractive indices. That's why F is equal to F prime in the case of the lenses. But in the case of the refracting surfaces, which we have discussed earlier, it depends upon the refractive indices of this lens and on the left and the right of the surface. So this is the basic difference between this lens and the refracting surfaces. Okay. So now let's see the image formation using the concave and convex lens. So let's take the convex lens, okay, and we'll see the image formation. This is the convex lens, this is the principal axis, and let's say this is the focal point, primary focal point, and we have the object here. Thank you. So can you make the image of this lens of this object where the image will be formed? In this case, where the image will form? Can anybody tell? Anybody? Devant?
The image will be formed before the focal point.
Before the focal point. Here at this point?
No, sir. No, sir. Sir, after the lens.
After
Right
the
side of the lens.
Suppose we have this is the this distance is equal, so this is the F prime. So here in this lens,
Yes, sir.
so how we will form this image? Can you tell using the graphically ray diagram? Can you tell which line we have to draw and we will get the image?
One from the pole.
And
Sir, one from the origin midpoint of the lens.
okay, like here. This way, right? And other way.
Sir, other from F.
This F or this F?
Sir, left side.
This primary focal point, right? So this is the straight line going. So after the deflection, what will happen? It becomes parallel, right? So can see that here they are crossing to each other. So if you draw the perpendicular, so this is the image will be formed at this point. So this is the Q prime and this is the. So just to confirm whether they are meeting at this point, we have to draw the third ray, and the third ray will draw the parallel light, and this parallel light will pass to the focus. And basically, it's not exactly going to meet, but it is supposed to meet at this point. So this ray will also need to cross like this. This is our secondary focus. So you see that Revant earlier was telling that image is formed in between the secondary focal length and the lens, but the image is forming other side to the focal length. Okay, this side, not in between, right? And this image is the real image we are getting. So further, if we move this object MQ towards the focal points, primary focal points, then the image will be, what happens to the image? Image will be further away, it will also come away from the secondary focal points, and also it becomes the larger in the size. That is the magnified image. So if you want to see the magnified image, so the object should be closer to the focal length. Okay, and what will happen to the object is going away from the primary focal length, then the image will come closer to the secondary focal points, and it will be smaller in the size. Okay, so it will be demagnified when the object is away from the primary focal point, and it will be magnified image if the object is closer to the primary focal points. And in this case, we are getting the real image in the convex lens. Okay. So again, there are conjugate points. We can see conjugate points are the points using the principle of the reversibility. Suppose our object is kept at this image point, then image will be formed at the object point. So in that way, Q and Q prime are the conjugate points, and M and N prime are the conjugate points. Okay. Similarly, one can draw the image formation using the convex concave lens. Let's see. So in the case of the convex lens, concave lens, is the convex concave lens, is the principal axis. And now we have to keep our object MQ here. And so in this case, how the image will be formed? Again, we have to follow the method which we have discussed earlier. Okay, the parallel rays we have to draw. So suppose I'm going to draw the parallel light. Okay, so this parallel light will go and it will diverge, and it will diverge in such a way that light is coming from the focal point. This is the secondary focal point. Okay. Another way we can draw, that is going towards the center of the lens. Undeviated. Okay. This light, and where this light will cut this point, that will form the image of this object Q. So this is the Q prime, and this will be N prime. Okay. Just to confirm the third ray, so we have to draw the third ray also, and that ray will go from the, suppose it is going like this. Suppose this is the our primary focal point for the concave lens, so it will go like this. So it seems that this light after the reflection, because it's going to the it is going to meet to the focal plane, so it becomes parallel. Okay, after the reflection, and when we draw the parallel light back, so they will also cut at this point. Then they will confirm that image will form at this point. Okay, so in this way, using the concave lens, we can get the image formation, and here we are getting the, if you see the, if you are standing here and seeing that, then you will see that in this case, we are getting the virtual image. This is the virtual image using the concave lens. Okay. And because virtual, because if you put the skin, so you don't get the image, but because light seems to come from this point, if you are standing here, that's why it's forming the virtual image. So this is the method to get the image formation using the concave lens. So any questions so far?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, if we consider our object as a perfectly black body,
If the object is perfectly, what is the meaning of black body?
means it emits no radiation, then is it possible to form an image via mirrors or lenses?
No. If there's no other light is coming from the object, so you cannot form the image. To form the image, light must come from the object. So in that case, what happens? We shine the light on the object. Suppose we have the black body, so it will not emit any light. So we have to put another outside light to the body. But again, it is black body, so again it will